second video of the night. Don't know how long it'll go to, but I do know it's the second video of the night. 1:19 in the morning. I don't know if I'll stay up to 2 or I'll stay up to 3. Pretty sure I want to play a game on my Xbox, so we'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, to go into some more excerpts here, let's try it. I have some other things that I'm definitely gonna announce again, even on my Instagram in a few minutes, a couple hours might be. Other things that are coming futurely in the NJ2TheCity catalog are things like The Council, which is not just a song, it's also an album. Every time I think of The Council, I think of Banks, Jillian Banks, I think that's her name, Jillian Banks, the singer. With her album titled The Altar. So The Council reminds me of The Altar, her album, her 2016 album. Now my take about The Council, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact being that with The Council itself, what am I out to do? The Council is pretty much I wouldn't say a prelude, but it's almost like me talking to you about it's like church counseling. The Council is like church counseling. I want people to understand that, we cannot keep living in the sin that we live in, pretending as if we're right for being wrong, which is by anybody's biased belief system, we can. We live in a world where people are infested with their own biased belief systems, which is why this world is infested with people that are lost in sin the way they are. Which then goes into why I made my song title Lost in Sin, because we have a lot of people that are lost in sin. And then I made my song title Save You From Yourself, because I do believe in so many cases we need people that are willing to save other people from themselves. Sometimes you need somebody to quote unquote save you from yourself. Excuse me. Because that goes into the lost in sin part. In order for you to stop being lost in sin, you need me to save you from yourself. Because under your own strength, under your own biased judgment, you're never going to choose Christ. You're never going to choose the right things. You're never going to choose to stay away from drugs, stay away from alcohol. And I mean in the most negative sense of the overdoses and stuff like that. If you're going to drink, know your limits. If you're doing a drug, why are you doing it? Is it for a headache? Is it for this? Is it for that? Why are you doing it? Note that, and etc. And it's just that a lot of times we surround ourselves with people who will enable us to stay in our sin, which is why we live in a very degenerate culture, I believe, so that it's trying to stay in its sin. We're not getting out of it. We're getting deeper and deeper and deeper into it. And so forth and so forth. I'm telling you, the evidence is vastly blasphemy, or is vastly there. Yeah, I just want to make a rhyme there. Vastly blasphemy. I just want to make a rhyme there. But we live in a culture that's what it is. People are vastly lost in sin. And sadly, they have taken pride in their sin. And that's what, and it kind of goes in its own dilemma, because I hate to say it, but yeah, I swear to you, I think that we live in a culture that is, not only blind to its own sin or lost in sin, but we also live in a culture that I think a lot of people think that this world is never ending. Because the way certain people live their lives, they live their life as if this world's never ending and or they cannot die at any time. That's another very damning fact or a damning opinion that I feel like we live in. By the way, to say damning is actually biblical, by the way, so don't, again, get it wrong and get it twisted, meaning I don't think I'm just saying that word to curse loosely, because I'm not. I'm saying because it's biblical, like damnation, that's biblical. The point there is that, you're, in the context that I'm using it is that, it's very negatively destructive, and stuff like that. That's the context that I'm using it in, But again, we live in a very much culture like that where people live their life, it seems, as if this world's never ending and or as if they cannot die at any day, any time, any place, any moment. The problem with that is I don't understand how you can't live knowing those things when, you have constant reminders about how precious life is, every single day. Every violent criminal out there can change their life for the better through Christ today. It ain't hard, but it is a process. And the top problem that I feel like we have again in today's day and age, people are not willing to go through that process. It's just easier to keep falling deeper and deeper into sin. It's just easier for people, and that's one of the top problems that we can have. People have fallen deeper and deeper into sin. The rabbit hole of sin, you could even say. The rabbit hole. But you can also go back down to this YouTube channel and find my video titled The Rabbit Hole of Sin. God's plan versus the rabbit hole of sin. You know? And I'm telling you, a lot of people, they're in the rabbit hole of sin. Continuously, every single day. They're in that rabbit hole of sin. Wow. 5 minutes into this. But yeah, the council has a background of, it's pretty much church counseling, because we need to get people in the church who, like I'm telling you, we need to get councils together within the church counseling together, people who are not afraid to go in there and, you could say again, confess what they need to confess. And I don't mean as in like this is like the what's it called, the confession booth with the Catholic Church. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you go into church and you sit around a group of people like a support group and you're divulging things. And it's not that's not to say you can't do that in the privacy of your own home. You totally can. But the point I'm trying to make there is church counseling can go on right there in your own home. It doesn't have to be in an exact building of a church. But I'm saying that we need to get back to a sense of it's amazing. We need to get back to a sense of where people want help, they want healing, and they want Jesus. They want hope, they want healing. Because Shy God bless the St. Johns County School District, and Shy God bless to really every school district out there. Especially, especially if I come to your school and I volunteer. That's exactly what I'm bringing to every school that I enter. Is I'm bringing hope and I'm bringing healing. And it's all in Christ's name. I'm bringing hope and I'm bringing healing. It's not hard to be lively, upbeat, positive, and just friendly. It's not hard. For people to pretend that it's rocket science is why I do believe so. We have either a very much culture that is fake, or we have a culture, once again, that is obsessed with its sin, or I should say lost in sin, and a few other things, or just scared to get out of its comfort zone in order to make some noise. You could also say a culture that's afraid to get out of its shell in order to make some noise. Stand up for itself, be somebody, and do something with their lives. So once again, the council has everything to do with just the background of church counseling. I want everybody to understand that some of the same problems you might deal with your family is some of the same problems that I can rest assure you that I've dealt with at times with my family. And I'm trying to, in the future, talk about these issues in the most productive way that I can. In the most productive / respectful way I can to everybody involved. Because in my life, for the most part, again, I'm blessed. But I'm never going to tell you that my life is completely flawless, because that's not true. That'd be a bleeping lie. It's flawed. I'm a flawed person still. But for the most part, I'm a really good, godly man for the most part. And I can rest assure you that I have my stories to tell. I have my, cadences here and there. And I want to make that music that's going to help spread awareness, help get people saved, and help people realize not only, like the classic saying, not only are you not alone, but there's hope for each and every last one of you that's going through the same struggle and or can relate to the struggle in some type of way. Know somebody else who's going through the struggle. The point there is there's hope and there's healing out there in Christ's name. And I'm telling you, I'm sorry for all the sex abuse scandals that have been out there plaguing our fallen world, because it's a fallen world biblically. I'm sorry for all the sex scandals, sex abuse that's plaguing our world. I'm sorry. It church was never meant for that crap, and your bishops, your pastors, your priests, you name it, your nuns, it was never ever meant for anybody to go through that. Never. But that's what once again happens when, like I said before, or like the Bible even says, how the devil was a master of disguise. It's what happens when you're not vigilant, you're not aware at times, and you let the devil come in and negatively warp your mind, and things just end up happening. And it's not to say they weren't preventable, because a lot of this crap was definitely preventable. Especially when you do it as many times these people did it, it was definitely preventable. But you obviously see what happened and how people are trying to heal from it. I'm telling you, I do believe that indeed, like, for example, Bishop Briggs, her album titled Church of Scars. Trust me, I'm listening to the thing, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, this Church of Scars about like her actually being in church and being scarred through something like abuse or anything like child abuse or whatever else, molested, or is this just something about, or is this about other people's abuse, or what is this about? And I just watched a Genius video today where she's like, well, that's just how she feels when she's riding, or she feels when she's like whatever, she feels like it's a church of scars, and stuff like that. It's so deep, it's so this, it's so that. So that's why she titled it Church of Scars. Because it's like she has been through some stuff, and it's just so, it cuts so deep sometimes where it's like, it's like it's a church and it's a church of scars, or something like that. And she said she's not really religious and stuff, but she definitely, has a spiritual side a little bit, I guess, is what she said. And the thing about that is, I can rest assure you, there's multiple with these mainstream musicians that are coming out to tell you that they're not religious, but they have religious cadences in their music. And I'm telling you, I can only think about all these guys saying, "Yeah, I'm not really religious, but I got all these religious cadences in my music." I'm like, really? How can you not be religious but have all these religious cadences in your music? Now, not to say that you just aren't really good at wordplay, because a lot of people are just really, really good at wordplay, and that's how they can not be religious but have these religious cadences in their music. But it makes me think to myself, well, guess what? You might not be religious, you know, but have all these cadences in your music. But I am religious, and that I have all these cases in the music because I am religious. It's almost like me copying Eminem's flow from way back when he said this person doesn't have to, put curse words in their music to sell it. Well, guess what? I do. So bleep him and bleep you too. That's what I think about when I hear all these mainstream musicians talking about, you know, yeah, I'm not really religious, but I have all these religious cadences in my music and stuff. But I do have a religious background as growing up and stuff. And I'm like, you're not religious, but you have all these religious cadences in your music. Well, guess what? I am religious, and I have all these religious cadences in my music because I want them and I like them and etc. But again, like I say, the council, church counseling, and I definitely believe that the council itself will possibly turn into a movement. I don't know, but it's something that I want everybody to understand. We need to get out of our biased belief systems into thinking that we're always right for being wrong, and we need to get hope and healing today with Jesus, because it's one of the top things we lack today. With all these churches around here, why are people still lacking moral code of conduct? It's one of the top things I will always wonder. Why are you still lacking moral code of conduct if you got all these churches around here? It's just amazing. And paper house family, or just the paper house, again, it's just the fact being people who don't have a leg to stand on with their arguments, who just have to make crap up. That's all the paper house has to do with, or the paper house family. People within your family who don't have a leg to stand on with their arguments, but they're always running their mouth and making stuff up as they go, as if they know everything, and as if they have a leg to stand on. Like I said before, I'm going to try to be as respectful with this stuff towards everybody's background as possible, whoever you are within future music, because I'm telling you, I want to make this music that everybody can relate to, whether it's through life, sports, homework, music. You get the point. Like, whatever you've gone through, whatever you're going through, that I know I went through and I can relate to. I'm trying to make this music definitely for you all, help raise this awareness and get you all, again, more happy, more excited. I do believe in 2019 and more years, we can all live life as a bunch of happy, healthy humans, or for short, happy humans. But we have to put Christ first, and we have to do what we have to do, to make those sacrifices in God's name, to like literally advance in God's plan and do God's work. So Outlier will be the last song that I've written on this paper. I don't know if I have time on this video to, actually I don't actually, but I'll explain it next video. God bless. Thank you all for listening, watching, and subscribing. It's me, your boy, the man, NJ2TheCity, out. Thank you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, many different ways to break it down, but hope this video gave you enough content for now. So God bless.